Welcome back. Joining us today to discuss today's stories is Chimene Wale Sunday. He's a public speaker. Thank you so much for being here, Chimene.
Thank you very
It's a
much.
pleasure to
Thank you.
have you.
Yeah.
Thank you. Concerned by the rising insecurity, banditry, and kidnappings across the country, the Senate has once again summoned all security chiefs to appear before it next week. The security chiefs are expected to engage with the Red Chamber includes the Chief of Defense Staff, General Chris Musa, the Chief of Army Staff, Lieutenant General Olufemi Oluyede, the Chief of Naval Staff, Admiral Emmanuel Ogala, and the Chief of Air Staff, Air Vice Marshal Hassan Abubakar. The President of the Senate, Senator Godswill Akpabio, announced this while commenting on a motion urgent need for the federal government to deploy troops to immediately restore law and order in Gwa West local government of Benue State. The motion, sponsored by Senator Titus Zam, representing Benue Northwest Senatorial District, was in response to incessant attacks and killings in the area by suspected herdsmen. In its resolution, the Senate urged security agencies to take immediate action to restore law and order in Gwere West local government area and other affected regions. Additionally, the Senate urged the Benue State government to enforce the open grazing prohibition and ranches establishments law to restore peace in the state. It further mandated its Committee on Defense, National Security and the Intelligence Livestock Development and Agriculture to visit Gwere West local government area for an on-the-ground assessment of the situation. I'd love to get your thoughts on this quickly, please, because recently we call that the death toll is still going on to 20 at the moment in Benue State. And we recall that Nasarawa and more of the northern states, even the Middle Belt states, are actually affected from the herdsmen, attack that's been going on. It's just a serious concern, for Senate to come up and summon security chiefs over this incident. Now the question would be, have they actually summoned these people before now during the whole northern crisis that has been going on for a long time? Is this more like a second summon? Is it supposed to be that they have not been doing their duties since now, before now, for them to still be summoned for another security tips on how to go about it, and deployment of troops to the northern states? I want to get your thoughts on what you think about this, please.
Okay. For me, I think Nigeria really needs to do a lot when it comes to the security part of this country. The Senate is really taking a very good step to know things about our security, because it's really getting alarming this time around. Up to now, we are still crying for Boko Haram and herdsmen and all those stuff. It's really very surprising. So I like the fact that the Senate arm is trying to do something about it, because a time will come when this will also migrate to other places. And it's now even becoming a norm that maybe whenever the southern people are actually becoming president, the herdsmen will start fighting again. And it's really surprising, because during Buhari's time, we never had a lot of these issues like this. Security was a little, although they were having issues, but it was not like this.
Okay, are you trying to say, in instance, the reason why the insecurity is more right now is because a southern is the president?
Yes, that's what I feel. Yes, because during Buhari's time, things like this were not really happening. Though it was happening, but not like...
So imagine an Easterner becomes president. It would be a total...
Probably. So it's really surprising, because we really need to put hands on deck to make this work for ourselves. The Senate it's our representatives. They should help us tackle this security problem, and it's really very important so that we can be able to also help our brother, because from with time it might migrate to other areas.
Okay.
Now it's happening at Benue. Before it was always Borno. Now it has migrated to Benue. Before you know it, to push to other parts of the country.
Nasarawa is also affected
you see,
at the
Nasarawa
moment.
is also affected.
Yes.
From there, it will shift. And if this is not tackled now, that is still early, it might affect the entire nation. So it's really important that they start tackling it now. It's still in the baby stage before it moves far to other parts of the country.
Okay.
So I think this is a very nice step from this.
I also wanted to ask, you know, this issue of insurgents, this issue of insecurity has been on before it got to this serious point. Why has the Senate not, because someone would say it's a long overdue situation, why haven't they been summoned before now on the way forward? Because Nigerians have been crying out. Aside the fact that, let's not rule out the fact that lives has been taken, lives have been lost. Nigerians are also affected food-wise, where most of these northern states are where we buy perishable commodities from that we consume, the likes of the yam, the potatoes, fresh tomatoes, and whatnot. Even the cow that we actually get to consume here, you know, in the south. It's the transportation system has been on a severe halt.
Yes.
In as much as, yes, they find their way to get them down to us, it's been on a minimal stage, and the transportation cost has been increased to the highest level, if you may ask me. You know, after all of this has been going on, why has the state not come to the realization before now to call it, to summon the security chiefs over the way forward? You know, they have actually come to say that they have sent troops to the northern states to, you know, fight most of these terrorists and bring this insecurity to an end. But we rarely see things happening on a daily basis. There's always a situation where a particular state is affected by these terrorist groups. You know, why now? Why did they come to their realization now that lots of damages have been done? Like the Borno that you mentioned, even pupils are affected. There was a time that most of these Lakarawa groups broke into a particular school, you know, and abducted most of them, just like they did in Borno. Even Borno State was recently affected this year.
It's still been affected up to now.
It's still going on. You know, why come to that realization now that this is the time you have to call the security chiefs to, you know, know the way forward? I just want to get your thoughts on this, please.
For me, personally, I feel this is the time they woke up. You know, it's only when a man wakes up, that's when he knows what to do. So I believe the Senate has woken up to tackle this issue, because this is a very serious issue. Because if there is no security in the nation tends to fall. So I feel they have woken up to reach out to other sectors in the nation. Because security is a very important sector in this nation, where if the nation is not being secured, we will not have investors, we will not have people coming into the country to do business with us. Okay. Because if these people are not sure of their security, it's going to affect the nation, even the economy at large. So I believe that this is the time they woke up to see a reason why this should be a necessity in the country, why they should take this as something that is very important. You know, they've been tackling in other sectors. I think this is the time they want to push into the security sector so that they could see what's really happening, why is this still happening up to this time, and so they could see how they could tackle them. Now it's still early before it gets more than, because a time will come where you to get into the south.
It's actually happening right in the south, but it's not so much
yet.
Yes.
But imagine it's pushed down to the south, it pushed down to other places, and the southern area is where most of our foreign investors are in. Most of the foreign investors are in the south. So imagine these issues push into the south. We are going to be losing a lot of businesses. We are losing a lot of things. And the economy will actually cripple at that moment. So it's important that they tackle it now. And they think that it's the necessity now to tackle the issue. Because if they don't tackle it now, when it goes higher than or leaves that northern area, to be a big problem to the southern area, and it will be even to the economy, because the economy of Nigeria, it's actually embedded in the southern area. So imagine that issue is there. A lot of investors will leave the country, and it's not going to be helpful for them. So I believe they have seen it as a necessity now to work towards it, to see how they could put their hands on deck and see how this could function. They are our representatives. If they don't help us, who will help us? They are the ones that are supposed to protect us. They are our advocates there, and they will speak on our behalf. So I believe that they have seen a reason for this.
Okay,
So
I
that's
will
why.
commend the parts that you're seeing the positive parts on this
Yes, it's a
issue.
really, it's really a positive
Yes,
part.
I commend on it. But there was a time that most of this, a particular, I'm trying to get the name while you were talking still, but the military, they came to say that they know the hideouts of the terror group, the Boko Haram head, where they hide out in the forest in Sokoto state, and they're going to do something about it and fish them out, and justice will be served to Nigerians, and the citizens have also been affected, and they said they will track them down. But up till now, we're yet to hear anything concerning that. Let it not be like a situation where we hear something and nothing is done in that instance. That's why I said, the fact that you see positive thoughts on this, but this issues, its security is, they say the government are there to protect lives and property. One time I had a show and it gets said something about, lives should come before the property.
Yes.
Yes, in as much as that property would be worth a billion or more than whatever, you cannot quantify it to the life of a human being. It's never something you want to argue with in any way. So if this is what they have actually come to do, like Nigerians would say, it's one of those talks that we've been hearing. In that instance, it shouldn't be like one of those talks. Actions should also be taken in that instance. You have something to say?
Yes,
please?
obviously, it has always been talk we always hear. That's why I say I always repeat my statement: action speaks louder than words. Nigeria is one country that talks a lot. They will tell you they want to do, they want to do, they want to do this, but they will end up not doing them. And nobody want to question it, why nobody is doing what they promised to do for us. So even in the security aspect, we still also, as a citizen, we still also have to play a little role.
Okay.
Though we are not strong enough to fight these people, but the little we can also support in the security level.
Minister of Livestock Development, Idi Maha, has unveiled plans to enhance Nigeria's leather industry by promoting the local productions of shoes, belts, and bags. Speaking on the importance of organized animal processing, Maha said that this during an interview on Wednesday morning. He emphasized the need for centralized abattoirs and skin collection centers to optimize the use of hides and skins. For you to optimize on skin collection, you need a central animal processing unit, he stated. He added that proper slaughtering methods would ensure hygienic meat production while preserving raw materials for the leather industry. The minister highlighted that Nigeria loses billions due to the consumption of hides as food. He warned against the health hazards of using kerosene to burn animal skins, stressing the need for safer processing methods. By our estimation, that industry can employ about almost 700,000 Nigerians, and by value, our own estimate about 23 billion naira. Now, we are not yet there because of certain incidences that he stated. He pointed to the success of the shoemaking industry in Maiduguri and Aba, where local factories are already producing footwear, including jungle boots for the armed forces. Please, I'd love to get your thoughts on this, what you have to say concerning this, please.
For me, I don't think Nigeria is neglecting the leather production because Nigeria has not given them that platform to strive. Most foreign countries buy our leathers from us. There is this part of Nigeria, I think in the north or something. I think either the northern area or one of the northern areas. They transport our leathers to all these big brands you see in the world today, the likes of Louis Vuitton and the rest. In Nigeria, a Nigerian factory that produces this leather transports it to them. Why can't our country do those kind of bags for us? It's because they've not given them that such platform to do such job.
Okay.
Because Nigeria is one country that I'll always say Nigeria is one country that they can never, when they see that you're progressing, they want to destroy that progress. You see the way that the minister is saying it, it's not the way you're going to see it when it happens. If somebody wants to wake up tomorrow now and say, okay, I want to start creating this bag or using this data to create products in the country, you will see the same Nigerians fighting that person. The same Nigerians. Let me use Innocent for instance. Innocent started producing cars in the country. Yet people still fight him. People still fight him. Do you know that as crude oil can produce a lot of raw materials that can be exported outside the country. But if someone starts doing such production, they will start fighting that person. So tell me, how would the country want to go? How would the country want to explore into other activities? Because people want to always have backlash with them. So I believe that the country is not actually neglected. It's just that they have not given them the platform to do those kind of productions. That's my own feel. So instead of wasting the animals or wasting the skins, they should eat it now. As per more.
Well, I'm talking about that Umo incident. We know that there's a point where meal. How do you do that? So they say I'll have to end up with.
You know, I think it's nice.
Yes, because
you've eaten it before, right? It's not tasty.
So some people will be like, I don't really know what the government's saying about this. But if we have to take this matter into the right thinking situation, the question will also be, do we have a leather industry in Nigeria?
I think there is industrial machines that can dry these leathers to it, or there are other machines that could cut them, because they could be saying it as raw material, like as raw as it is. They could even make more from that singular this thing. But because they are all doing it on a source of natural, which is the sun, they may not really know other ways of